Guys, I got bad news. I have a problem, like
a real, actual issue.
I can't stop playing Slay the Spire, and I think that it is actually consuming me. These hours across both my PS5 and Switch are adding up rapidly. I've actually avoided purchasing it on Steam simply because I can't afford another 60 to 100 hours on that system too. Like, I can't stop. Like, please send help. Please send help. But I am not supposed to be playing a game like this. Now, when I was a little kid, my brother and I would sit around and throw hand after hand of the absolute most basic ass card game. You probably know the one, War. You could teach War to a amoeba, honestly, so simple that even a caveman could do it. I came up at the apex of kid card games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I lived through the peak of Magic in high school, and I have never played or owned a single damn card from any of them. The only rectangular memorabilia I ever gave a shit about were basketball cards, and even those were kind of an afterthought. Even in video games, I barely have bat an eye at even the best of card games. Now, I do love Triple Triad. In fact, I'd rather play that than even replay Final Fantasy VIII.
Sorry if you like that game, but
Gwent? Hell nah. That one weird board game in Horizon? Yeah, I know it's not a card game, but that's how little I know about card games, okay? I fucking can't even think of any. And shit, man, I'm black, and I don't even know how to play spades. I guess the one card I do know how to play is the black card. Card games are about as far from my usual fare as well. FPS games, MMOs, and simulation sports. I don't play them physically nor digitally. Until the Spire broke forth from the earth and slayed me. Now, for those of you that have been around the channel for a long time, you know, like all
three of you,
I used to have a short-lived series called PlayStation Plus or Minus, where I played all the PS Plus games for the month and told you if I thought they were worth playing. And back in April of 2022, this damn bastard popped up right alongside a couple of real stinkers in Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated, and Hood, Outlaw, and Legends. I know some of y'all love probably that SpongeBob game that I hate, but hate to tell you, it is in fact nostalgia talking. Anyway, the diamond in the rough emerged, and in the nearly 2 years since I was first introduced to Ironclad, Silent, Defect, and Watcher, it has really become a cozy ass game I truly cannot stop playing. Now, if you are a fan of this banger of a game, make sure you let me know your favorite and least favorite character down below. But first, we're gonna get into 5 reasons why you, yes, you should play Slay the Spire right the hell now. And why it's slowly creeping into my list of all-time indie games. Better watch your back, Zag. Lego. Now, the first thing that strikes you about this game is it is infinitely replayable. When you start the game, you only have access to 3 characters. You have the Ironclad, the Silent, and the Defect. But as you continue to play, you will also unlock a 4th character that was added, I believe, well post-launch, named the Watcher. Now, each character is very, very, very different. They all have different cards for every single person, and you slowly unlock these cards as you play through rounds and rounds and rounds. The cool thing is every card has its utility, and there's really not like any super duper bad cards. There are definitely cards that are better than others, but really as you get more artifacts and as you get different things that build up both your deck and your character, that one kind of shitty card might actually turn out to be super useful. Characters like the Ironclad, he's just like the basic character that's just raw power, and his starting artifact allows him to get 6 HP back after every fight. So this makes you be able to be super aggressive and go out there and just whoop some ass. And then the next character The Silent is all speed, right? She can get shivs that allow her to do very little damage, but she can do a bunch of them. And if you get the right artifacts, you can get a nice synergy going. But each character is like this. The Defect and the Watcher all have their own ups and downs, and they all start with different artifacts. And even when you start, you have the chance to choose different ways to begin the game. You can buff certain aspects based on this giant fucking whale. I don't understand what this is. This is some Lovecraftian shit, but it's just really fun to kind of play each hand and learn something new every time. It is a roguelike, so you're constantly fighting different enemies in different layouts, and there's these question mark rooms that are always different. They're always a different look. They might have enemies in them, which sucks. They might have an extra shop. They might have a trap. So every single playthrough is very different. And these relics that you can purchase at shops or that you win from bosses, they even have their ups and downs. So they might allow you an extra play each hand, but they might come at the cost of only being able to play a certain amount of cards. Or every character in the game has +1 strength at the start of combat. So there's all these ups and downs. And then in the 3 stages that you go through to get to the top of the Spire, there are multiple bosses to choose from in every level. So when you get to that end boss, it might not be a boss that your deck has been built for. Now, even past that, there are ascension levels, and there are, I think, 20 of them. I haven't got through hardly any of them because I just like to play this game real chill. But these ascension levels allow you to continue to push the ante, up the ante, make every level a little bit harder. All these different handicaps. Like any great roguelike, there is ways to make it harder and harder, but you can also choose to just play it and just chill. These ascension levels are dope, and it's a great extra bonus, but I like never play them because honestly, that leads me right into the number 2, which is, I mean, goddamn, this game is cozy. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. I am not much of like a cozy gamer, whatever the fuck that means, outside of like Animal Crossing New Horizon, which, I mean, obviously, we all played that 2020 because
I just wanted to be near somebody, but
I don't really play it with ascension levels. I will literally sit down, and a run is about 30 to 45 minutes. So you sit down, and that allows you to just kind of play it as a wind down type of game. The game is not particularly easy, even at lower levels. It really depends on synergy and a little bit of luck, obviously, because it is a roguelike. There is RNG involved, but it's short enough and it's easy enough to understand that you can just get in there, get going. It just always feels great to sit down and play. And then even within the synergies, there's definitely styles that I lean towards, but it's always fun to experiment and try new things. So every single time you play, it's just a little different, and that makes it so much fun. Now, number 3, I think that one of the best parts of this game is that it's really easy to figure out how to play, but it's really hard to master. Like I said, I am not a card guy. I don't play poker. I don't play spades. The closest I get to card games is like Cards Against Humanity with some homies, which that's even super rare now. While it's super easy to figure out this game, it is really difficult to master it and to get to the point where you're winning constantly. I'd say I'm probably about a 50% win rate, and that's with hundreds of hours, because even within the synergies that you love and that are your bread and butter, the wrong boss could mean, oh shit, like I chose the wrong path. And then with all 4 characters, you have hella shit to do. You have a lot to enjoy and a lot to try. The 4th thing that I really love about Slay the Spire is that while it is in fact a card game, it feels a lot like a puzzle game in some ways, because you sit there and you're kind of racking your brain and you're kind of up against it, right? You'll be sitting there doing the math, like, okay, if I play this card and then defend for 5, I'll end up with 2 HP left, but then I'll get my next turn. And you have to always be thoughtful, because there are definitely times where I've been like playing too fast And then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I could have won this battle, but I got too far ahead of myself and I was cocky and I just thought that I knew how this was all gonna play out, and then it doesn't. So you have to be super thoughtful and put the puzzle pieces together, or else you might end up on the wrong side of shit. On the other hand, there's nothing better than when you're facing down like a last round. You're like, okay, this is my last stand. If I don't beat this boss this turn, because I have 4 or 5 HP and you don't have enough defensive cards to mitigate the damage, you're like, all right, how do I get some vulnerability? How do I get the appropriate status effects that lead to my victory? Because every character can do different statuses, or they have different variables that provide you opportunities to get ahead. The Watcher is actually probably the hardest to figure out because you can go between stances, and when you change stances, you might take more damage. In fact, it doubles your damage. So, but it also doubles the damage you do. So you could be in a situation where you change stance and just start wailing on this boss and do absurd damage, never letting them get their turn. And that is like, holy shit, I can't believe I won that. Like, you'll have these moments of just, haha, I did it, bitch. Like,
gotcha, bitch.
Straight up Chappelle style. You'll be feeling so good that you figured out the puzzle. You came to a victory when it looked like you were about to just get taken, but you snatched victory from the claws of defeat. From the jaws of defeat. Man, I'm just out here trying to rhyme, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Anyway,
you can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and feel really good about what you did, and your pulse will get pounded. You would think a card game wouldn't get you so hyped, but I get super hyped. I'll be yelling at the TV like, yo, I did it, I got you, bitch. But then other times you're like,
damn it. So it's a lot of that feeling.
What I also love about the game is there's really not like objectively bad cards or plays. It's just really, if you can figure out how to put everything together and really figure out how to play in a way that leads you to victory. Every battle, there's certain sub-bosses and elites, as they're called, that you see and you're like, fuck. But if you have the right cards and the right hands, then all of a sudden it's trivialized. And I love that about roguelikes. There's always a way to kind of trivialize everything. Like, this game is definitely breakable, but it's only breakable within that run usually. Every run starts new. There's a bunch of variables and it keeps you right on your toes. And finally, the number 5 reason that I believe everyone should play Slay the Spire is that feeling of that perfect run. Like, few things can compare when you put together, when you see that perfect run and it all just coalesces. Maybe you're coming out the gate as the defect, right? And the defect starts with these orbs that allow you to cast stuff at the end of your turn passively. They can be defensive, they can give you additional turns within your next play. Lightning, and then there's one that kind of builds up and can be like a burst damage. And my favorite synergy with the defect is to get a lot of lightning going, because every turn it'll do 3 damage. And if you get certain cards that allow you to bring more lightning in as you take damage, you'll just like see this damage rotation just happen. A lot of times you'll kill enemies mid attack if they have like multi-hit attacks, and you just see that damage counter going up because they're bringing lightning in and casting it on themselves, and you're just like, I got you, bitch. And then if you get that with the card that allows you to passively create lightnings, and then you get cards that when you attack, you make a lightning. I don't know, there's something about that I just love. But sometimes that backfires because you also need to consider damage across all enemies on screen. But there's a card that turns lightning damage into a multicast, so you hit everybody at once. So if you get that plus the passive plus the one that calls lightning down when you get hit,
you're fucking everybody up.
And that feels so good. That feels so good. You don't have to do hardly anything. And if you get certain artifacts that allow you to put certain skills to always show up on your first card,
It's over. It's a wrap.
you know, probably my least favorite character is the Watcher. I'm not gonna lie, until I decided to do this video, I hadn't played the Watcher on either console for like months. I haven't played as a Watcher. I kind of just skipped between the first three.
But I decided, hey, man,
Let me give the Watcher a go again now that I kind of like know what the fuck I'm doing. And yo, I had so much fun learning new synergy. There's so many different ways to play because, like I said, the Watcher has these stances. These cards can allow her to go in and out of stances. There are multiple stances, and one's an attack stance, one is a defensive stance that provides you additional leverage when you come out of it. And then there's also Mantra that allows you to enter this trance stance where you do hella damage. You get all these additional moves and you have to build it back up. And then there's even a card that allows you to go basically Super Saiyan, but if you don't kill all the enemies in that turn, you die outright. So there's a huge risk and reward with the Watcher. And I think when I started playing this game, I didn't understand her. And now that I understand the game way better, she's hella fun. I played like 2 runs and I won both of them. And I was having a hard time getting winning runs for this video for some reason. I've been kind of killing it, but you know.
Once the camera's on, you're under pressure, so.
Yeah, it's just, there's few things that feel better than putting it all together and watching that last boss be trivialized. Even past all that, there's so much more to see and do. There's artifacts that you have to open up as you play more. There's all these different rooms that have all these different aspects to them. And I just was not prepared. I was not prepared to love this game like this. I really wasn't. I had no clue I was gonna love this game like this. And you know, all in all, man, straight up, I am not the market for this game. Even though I traditionally do love roguelikes, so there's that. Cards have been the lamest thing to me for like forever. Yet, here we are. Slay the Spire is somewhere probably in, I would say my top 5 indie games of all time. And I would have never guessed that back when I played it for the PlayStation Plus or Minus series in April of 2022. The times, they do be changing. Now, the real question though is, have you played Slay the Spire? Would you give it a chance for your
old buddy, the Gamersician?
Because I'd love to hear what you think about this incredible card game. Now follow me on Instagram and Twitter under TheGamersician, and let's keep this conversation going. But yeah, man, we out of here. So peace.